Hi, everyone. Welcome to Domain Sherpa. We've got an amazing Domain Sherpa review for everybody today. We've got Jason Sheppard, Ammar, and Drew on the show. As usual, we play the domain game, and today's domains include LegalBuilder.com, Joinr.com, DimSum.com, and OxyBuilders.com. And for today's NameJet Gonna Jet segment, we've got something special where we focus on Ammar's ThoughtConvergence portfolio, which is being listed on NameJet as part of a liquidation. So there are a ton of killer domains involved, including beer.com, nonstop.com, threat.com, and my personal favorite, aka.com. These are some of the best domains in the world, and most of the domains in the portfolio are actually at no reserve, so make sure you check that out. Also, big shout out to our other key sponsor, Dan.com, the #1 place in the world to buy and sell your domains with a special platform made just for domain investors. So with that, sit back and relax and hang with us here on Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. What's up, Sherpa Network? Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Jonathan Tenenbaum, aka JT, aka J On, and I'm the host and producer of Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. Today's show is a Domain Sherpa review, where we get into the minds of successful domain investors using real examples so we can learn strategies and tactics to become more successful domain name investors ourselves. These are the experts. So with that, there are 4 segments to a Domain Sherpa review. Number 1, we got the grand opening. That's what we're into right now. We're in the grand opening. I intro the Sherpas. We see what's going on with them. We talk about some related stuff, maybe go down off a tangent or down a little rabbit hole. 2, we get into the domain game. That's where we hear what the Sherpas recently bought or sold. Everybody guesses what the buy or sell price was, and the winner will get some media options or Domain Sherpa swag. And then the 3rd segment, we got NameJet Gonna Jet. That's where we review a list of domains coming up for auction on NameJet. Today is actually a special show because instead of going over sort of the random names that are coming off of the expiry, today we're talking about a super special portfolio that one of our guests has a has a specific tie to that. But we're gonna get to that. I don't want to give away too much yet. And then 4th, we got the grand closing. That's where we discuss anything we haven't already covered, what's going on in the domain space, looking at market trends, current events, and then allowing everybody to kind of mention, promote anything they want to talk about that we haven't already discussed. So with that, let's go ahead and introduce the Sherpas. So one guy I'm super excited to have on the show. It's the first time I've had him personally on the show. He's been on the show before, but we got my boy over to my right, my man, Jason Sheppard. What's up, Jason? How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Jason, aka Dead Mouse, aka Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin, aka Charlie Poole. You know what I'm saying? Those are your AKAs. Let me break down where they're coming from.
All right.
So, Dead Mouse. So for those of you who don't know, so Jason is a super successful domain investor, marketing consultant, former nightclub DJ, as well as a DN Academy instructor, dabbles a little bit in NFTs, and is the motherfucking kingpin. So the Dead Mouse thing, it's the nightclub DJ, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where that comes from. Wilson Fisk, who is the kingpin in the Marvel comics, aka the kingpin. And then Charlie Poole. Do y'all know who Charlie Poole is? He's a famous American musician, singer, banjo player, the leader of the North Carolina Ramblers, right? So he's a famous.
You lost me at banjo.
So you love music. What do you mean, man? Charlie Poole, man. Anyway, so for those of you who don't know, Jason's from North Carolina, or at least has spent significant time there. I don't know if you're actually from there, but I know that when I got to know you, that's where you were. So, it's that North Carolina musician kind of tie-in. So those are your AKAs, my dude. Welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right. So with that, let's keep it moving. So then directly below him, we got my man, 50 grand, Skip Bros over others. You know what I'm saying? My man, Ammar Kubba. I'm trying to keep this politically correct. Ammar Kubba, aka King Kubba, aka Danny Ocean, aka the Great Gatsby. So for those of you who don't know, super successful domain investor, angel investor, and also writer. So, that's where the Great Gatsby thing comes from. Don't chase an unworthy dream, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like keep it focused, man. We all stay focused. And what's up, man? How are you?
Focus, man.
And so Ammar was who I was referring to. It's the ThoughtConvergence domain auction that's currently going on NameJet. In fact, as this show airs, we're taping today. airing it tomorrow because the names are starting to go into auction. So we want to make sure people have a jump on that. So instead of doing our typical domain list, we'll get into the details of that when we get into the NameJet Gonna Jet, but that is what we're going to be doing today. Super excited. There's some fucking incredible domains on that list. Some of which I will be bidding on myself, this is kind of a tough one. You know what I mean? Because we're like, do we really even want to talk about this? I'd rather them fly completely under the radar. But at the same time, man, what's right is right. You know what I mean? We want you to make that money. We want to help out our folks at NameJet. And if that means we don't get the deals we could otherwise get, I mean, it is what it is. But no, all good, all good.
There's plenty of deals to go around.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are. I mean, I think I have 100 names on the list, and I cut them off at the ones that had only, that had 30 or more bids already. You know what I mean? So it was like, and that's, so there's no question that there's a lot of real amazing.
Oh, there's some smoke in here.
So we're going to get into that. And then, but before that, I got to introduce the last, but certainly not least, we got below me, we got my boy, Andrew Rosner, AKA Morpheus, AKA John Galt, AKA the Dirk Diggler, domain names. Yeah. And I got a new one for you. Don't worry, it's good.
What
It
do you
gets
got?
better. AKA the Sniper, Bob Lee Swagger. Let's go. So Drew is the #1 domain broker in the world, successful investor, angel investor all over the place. Now he is a metaverse record label, entertainment conglomerate, co-founder and CEO, Apin Productions, AIP. Ape, baby, we doing it. Ape shit, we going ape shit, the zoo. Shout out to all our people. And actually, one of our other co-founders who a lot of folks know, Timberland, the legend, the GOAT. And he refers to Drew as the Sniper. So now Drew is officially the Sniper, man. And like, as Tim says it, that's it. It's written.
That's it. That's the good word.
That's it. I'm like, yo, can I get a name like that? Like, what's up? I feel like I get no love.
Nah, man, you got to spend the time up on the hill, looking through the lens.
Man, that's messed up, man. Hey, it's fine. It's all good. It's fine. Whatever. So,
hours.
As long as he doesn't call you
put in your hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to put in the 10,000 hours, whatever. Anyway, hey, with that, so all good. Drew is the CEO and founder of Media Options. I'm wearing my Media Options swag today, of which I am the COO and general counsel. I mean, as we're getting close to the end of the year, worth mentioning, we are having our best year ever. So for the folks who think we're sleeping on domains, I feel like I get so defensive on these shows because we do take some people with the comments and the other stuff because we do have a lot of NFT and crypto stuff that we're into.
You're just too sensitive.
I think it's because I like people, man. I like people, I want people to like me.
That's
you
the
know
thing.
what I'm saying?
You like people. I don't.
Yeah, that's where it is where we kind of, we're different in that way. But we all have a breaking point. You know what I'm saying? We all have our point where we're like, I don't like people that much.
We all got a breaking point, man.
It's like from Clerks, but I hate crowds. It's really weird. But anyway, so Media Options is killing it. Apin Productions is killing it. We got a lot of other really great stuff going on. And but like I said, so for the folks who think we're sleeping on domains, we are as excited, and things are as good as they've ever been for us on that front. I mean, we're actually just about.
No, they ain't as good as they've ever been. They're like literally 300% better than they've ever been.
Which segues into my next point, which is, so this basically wraps up my first full year in the role that I'm in Media Options. I'm not saying the shit is tied together, right? But so Drew, after this meeting,
imagine what I could have done without you.
After this show, let's talk about that bonus, dog. Let's talk about it. Anyway, hey, no, all good. Everything's good. Great show today. So let's dive right into it. So we're going to do the domain game. This is a great group, and I'm super, super excited. So those are the Sherpas. Let's get it cracking. Domain game. Let's start with Jason. If you've got a recent purchase or sale, why don't you tell us what the name is, and then we'll get to guessing, and Billy will keep score, and let's see who's going to get some swag. Winter's coming, and we got the hoodies. You know what I mean? So,
all right. Well, unfortunately, a lot of my recent sales have been on Brand Bucket, and I know we're not supposed to talk about those in public, so I'm gonna have to go with an after next sale. Okay. Recently sold LegalBuilder.com.
I like that. LegalBuilder.
Who's up first?
It's going to be Ammar because we go in that order. So give us your thoughts and your reasoning. And so
LegalBuilder.
LegalBuilder.com.
LegalBuilder.com.
All right.
I'm going to say 7,900.
7,900. All right. Any particular reason why?
I don't even really know what you would do with that name, but I don't know. I just feel like that's probably these 2-word generic .coms are doing well, and Jason, I don't think he would have priced that one too much higher than that. So I'm thinking it's going to be somewhere between 5 and 8K. So I went with 7,900.
Okay, I like it. All right, Drew, you're up.
LegalBuilder. I'm gonna go $7,888.
Oh, dude, you can't do the prices right thing just for why do you give us the
What do you mean? What did he say? $5,000? No.
No, he said
I
7,900.
said 5 to 8, and I said 7,900 is where I ended up.
Oh, all right.
And then you basically were like, all right, fuck it, I'm going to take the under. And that's okay. That's all
I
right.
didn't actually mean that, but I mean,
Just-
but yeah, I mean,
just-
that's kind of where I was going to say 7,500. Then I mean, I'll say 7,500. I think we're clustering. I'm not even trying to just take the under. I think that's pretty much where I'd put it.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to go a little lower just because I think, it's, I like the name, 2 words. I think it's, I think you can do a couple of different things with it, depending on if you're trying to do sites for lawyers or, some other types of things, law firm support. I think there's definitely value in that kind of, in that business. I know as a lawyer myself, and I think as more online tools and things become available and useful for that kind of stuff, but I just think this is a $5,500, actually $5,900 subsidy, right around 6,000. But I think you put it right below it just so that you get the benefit of that like 5,999 kind of price. And so that's actually what I'm going to say. I think it's a solid name in line with kind of what y'all are saying, like in between that 5 and 10K, but I put a little bit lower and I think it was priced to sell at sub 6K and that's what happened. So.
All right. Well, I'm selling my names way too cheap. So I sold it for $1,475, which is like my low price, but it cost me $11 like 2 years ago. So and that's the kind of sales that pay my renewals. I've got 6,500 names. I gotta churn names to keep the portfolio up, and so that's. I
don't think you sold it too cheap. I don't know. Because I really don't love the name. I don't know what you do with it other than what JT was just kind of saying right now, or maybe doing forms or something. But But I don't know why. Everything seems to be selling high right now. So I probably went a little higher than I normally would.
But either way, it's still 100X. And when did you initially grab it?
It was August of 2020. So, I probably have a $11.
It's a quick turn.
Yeah, so you held it for 15 months and you made 100X.
Yeah,
I mean,
man, that sucks.
This is the one space.
You should probably pick a different career, Jason.
Yeah, this is the one space where that you hear that and you're like, yeah, but did you really sell it for what you could have got? No, I mean it's
definitely need to update the resume, man. I'm not gonna make it, right?
Not gonna make it.
GMI, baby.
And GMI. No, man. Hey, all good. Look, like those are the kinds of things, like you said, especially when you have a large portfolio. And that is kind of, I think that's also important for the audience to, to understand too about the size of your portfolio, you know what I mean? Because that does dictate a bit how you sort of operate as well, depending on how many names you got. You have that many names, that's a lot of renewals, right? But it also means that you're going to roll more names, and sell some low, some higher, whatever. Not that that was a low sale, but just in general, I think it's important to kind of have that context. So cool, man. So 100X in 15 months, I think that's a success. And, and even more of a success that I was the one that guessed the price because I was closest. So that's so far so good, man. Let's go. All right, cool. All right, Ammar, what do you got?
I have a sale. I've actually bought a few big names lately, but I can't talk about the price. But I sold Joinr. Joinr.
All right. Well, hold on. We're going to get into Joinr here in a second, but let's talk about that comment that you just made. So you're the buyer. So those then are under NDA based on who? The seller or you not wanting to disclose the price?
Seller.
So the seller doesn't want to disclose the price. Okay. Well, that's fair. Yeah. And why do you think that is though? before you get into
Because-
Joinr, man, I'm just trying to, I'm not trying to keep you on a hot seat. I'm just saying
No,
so many domain sales, end up never being disclosed. It's one of the things about our industry that can be
Well,
challenging.
we can't say much about that because I'm like the number one dude. I don't disclose anything. So
I know that's true.
The reason he doesn't want to say is because I got great deals on him.
Okay.
And so he doesn't want that to reflect on other
future sales.
Future
See,
sales.
and that's fair. I think that's good. That's good insight for the audience, man. I'm just
Yeah.
what I'm trying to
Sometimes
do here.
it's timing, right? A lot of stuff is timing.
Everything I do, it's all about timing.
All about timing.
Yeah. All right. Joinr. Joinr.
This is a sale.
Yeah, sale. Joinr. So no E.com.
Oh, Joinr.
Oh, Joinr spelled wrong.
Correct.
Joinr spelled like a word that doesn't exist. Got it.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, go ahead, Drew. You first. I got thoughts.
Joinr. I'm gonna say $9,888.
$9,999. And why is that?
Well, I mean, I think the domain is basically worthless, but it's like clearly a brand for somebody. And like, if they wanted to buy the real name, that's probably like, let's say a $100,000 to $250,000 domain. This is worth, let's say 5-10% of that. And so, roughly 10 grand seems about right. 95% discount for the typo.
All right, I think that's solid. All right, so 9,999. So this is an interesting one, and this is one where I kind of weigh it against who's actually selling the domain. And I know Ammar is.
Well, that's it. That in this
he's
case,
a diamond-handed motherfucker, man. When it comes to his domain names, you know what I'm saying?
That's the mistake I made the last time Ammar was on.
He's not a paper-handed.
I overestimated. I thought he had diamond hands, but they turned out to be cubic zirconia.
Oh,
he's not a paper-handed. Whatever you typically,
diamond right there.
Snap. He's like, you see this. But I think that my hang up is kind of along the lines of like, this is a very specific name for a very specific, buyer, right? There's only one of, however, that are thinking of trying to name their business this. I don't even know what kind of business you would use for it unless it's some sort of social media meetup type of like with Joinr, like, where do you kind of facilitate connections, right? So whether that's, romantic, whether that's business, whether that's social, is it physical, like joining like some kind of like, product or something, maybe that connecting some shit. I don't know, but I think it's a tough one though, because it's like anytime you're going to tell your name to somebody, it's like, oh, it's Joinr without the E.
It's a dating network for people that can't spell.
Oh shit. Hey man, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that out there. People who can't spell need to meet people too. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm going less, man. I'm gonna say this is 6. I'm going with my 5,999. I'm sticking with my 5. I'm gonna stay that same like I did on the last one.
So Drew said 9,888. You saying 5,999.
Yeah. 5,999.
All right.
Drew's 9,888.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take the contrary view. I think you got more for it. And I was leaning toward 15, but I'm going to give myself some cushion and tighten up a little closer to Drew's guess and say 12,500. I just encountered a company and doing some other business that has that same thing. It's Yondr with no E, so it's YONDR, and I'm like, all right, so there are people out there branding on this, and so I'm going to say 12,500.
Well, I'm going to take the contrarian view of your contrarian view and say that, but Yondr is a better name to start with than Joinr. You know what I'm saying? Like when I think Joinr, I almost think of the last name,
Most people don't know. So I like the word Yondr a lot more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But most people, that the same people that are joining the Joinr social network, that can't for dating network for people that can't spell, most people don't know what Yondr means. So they would go on Joinr for people that don't have a good vocabulary.
And the thing I like about Joinr is I don't see it as connecting people. I see it as connecting data. A data join is a it's a database function.
Okay.
And so I'm seeing a SaaS product or an app or something.
All right. And then I'm trying to think, is it Wally Joinr? What was Wally Joinr was
But
the
that's
baseball player.
Joyner, right? Or no?
I know. That's the Joinr I know, man. Wally Joinr all day for life. Anyway,
It's with
all
a
right,
Y,
so
right?
it's with the Y, yeah. So
Yeah.
all right. So talk to us, man. What'd you sell it for?
9,900.
Oh man.
So Drew wins $12
Drew, right
off.
on that.
Or no, $2 off.
I mean, he
That's
was
right.
$12.
I don't know. There was some confusion.
Whatever.
He might have literally nailed it. He may have been $100 off, but either way,
9,900.
Drew gets the point.
And it's being used, I believe, for a crypto. So along the lines of what Jason's saying. So it's for data, and I think it's kind of
I should have given it the crypto, sort of the crypto bump, if you will. But Drew was already on it, so that was.
What's funny though is you guys all had the same range, and whenever I have one of those buy nows, I always kick myself. I'm like, fuck, I sold it too cheap. But in reality, this actually helps me because this makes me feel like, okay.
I think you did. Yeah, I think you did great, man. You sold a name that's not even a word. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Like
10 grand.
You
sold a name
too cheap. What do you mean? They're like, you sold something that was worthless for 10 grand.
10 grand.
It's like, you came out of the right end of that deal.
Well, and this goes back to the whole thing about branding and domains. Like that name by itself is worthless. That name sold to the right folks who can put the right thing behind it and get, traction and visibility and activity, action and everything else could build a multi-million-dollar brand on it. You know what I mean? So it's like, and that's the beauty of domain names. So, so nice work, man. So, actually, I don't know. What'd you pay for it? Before I give you credit, I'm like,
I paid like 100 and something, 200, like maybe $200. I don't know. Is it?
And how long did you hold
long
it?
ago, less than 2 years ago.
Yeah. So same kind of thing as Jason. So you basically turned, 15-month
$100
hold
to
into,
a lot. Yeah.
100x or whatever. So, tough life out here for domainers, man. It's tough life in these domaining streets. You know what I'm saying? And because I was getting like, yo, good work, but for all I know, you paid 9,900 and
right.
Plus more, so no, but
pimping ain't easy.
Pimping ain't easy, man, but it's necessary. So I chase these chickens like Tom chased Jerry. So anyway, all right. With that, this is like my catchphrase. So everybody who tracks that, go ahead and drink. But go ahead. Let's talk about Drew. So now we're gonna get in a spot where we're gonna have like a 3-way tie after this because Drew's got a point, I got a point. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to kind of do the tiebreaker. But let's see here. Let's keep it around the horn. Drew, what name are we dropping on him? Because I'm probably going to be disqualified from this one.
Yeah, you're disqualified. Yeah, I'm going to, let's see. One sec. Give me 1 second. I could.
Also, JT, I haven't gotten my swag yet from my win. So maybe you
send
might
me
want to
your,
hand
send me
deliver
your
that.
address. I've got a couple people. I've got Andrew Miller hits me every other day. He's like, dude, where's my swag? And so I know I'm like, it exists. I gave it to Braden. Braden posted on it. He
How
put it
about
on.
you just hand deliver it, brother?
Ooh, yeah, let's do it. I'll bring you to Vegas, man. Let's go.
Let's go.
Maybe I can send you an NFT.
All right, I got.
Maybe that's what I'll send you.
All right.
AFM Productions, man. Let's go.
Well, you'd be disqualified your way.
I don't know. I haven't been paying
I'll
that
let
much
y'all
attention.
pick. You want to go cashmere.com or dimsum.com?
Oh, I want to hear. I like Cashmere better, but I want to hear why you have been chasing DimSum for so long. So let's go with DimSum.
Is that cool with you, Jason?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right. DimSum it is. So let's say dimsum.com.
That was a purchase.
Yep.
Purchase. Yeah, purchase.
Okay.
And it sounds like Ammar knows a little bit of the history about Drew's.
Well, just because he posted that he's been chasing this name forever. He loves the name, and it's a great name. But I like Cashmere better. But I'm just wondering what the story is behind DimSum.
All right.
Yeah. So lead off. All right. Chasing forever tends to make me think you paid a little more than I would, but I'm going to say 3K.
3K. Okay.
My turn or your turn? Oh,
Yeah.
you're disqualified.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna go. So just because I'm not gonna play the higher than, I think he paid 25, but I think he would have paid up to 25, maybe more. But I think he probably paid. I'm gonna go with 20. But I think that's easily, if you love that name, you could pay 50K for it, right? It's a great name.
Yeah. So okay. So I mean, I know what the answer is. Should I tell him?
So no. So basically, you're very, very close. So I paid 27 all in. Basically, it was 25. I got to pay a little commission, and it's. I wanted to pay like 15, but this was basically
I got the
half.
exact right numbers.
But this was half of what it's been. So I just jumped on it. But it's also not a name I really want to sell, to be honest. I'm upset. DimSum is basically my favorite food in the world. I love DimSum. I've loved DimSum since I was a little kid. Some of my only and fondest memories of being a small child is like going to New York City, like on a Sunday with my dad, and like going to Chinatown, eating DimSum till I puke, and then drive back home. Like, I just, everywhere I go, I see DimSum, I eat DimSum, good DimSum, bad DimSum. I just love me some DimSum. So,
who would have thought too? Drew's like the character.
DimSum and DadSum.
He's like the restaurant critic in Ratatouille. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all have seen that, but if you got kids, like because he's all disillusioned and shit, but then Ratatouille brings him back with the the dish that he that he ate as a
like
child.
Forrest Gump. He's like the Forrest Gump of DimSum.
Damn right. Never know what you're gonna get.
So, well, hey, so what is DimSum, right? I feel like that's
DimSum is so it's interesting. I learned a lot of things that I never knew until I bought this domain, and all these people started pinging me, telling me about what it means. So it actually it comes from it's Cantonese, right? The word dim sum is Cantonese, and so it's not Mandarin, it's Cantonese, and it literally means like warm, soft touch. And so it's like a very positive word, and it's used apparently in other ways than the food. But in the rest of the world, it just means like dumplings, right? It's like different forms of dumplings and small appetizers. It's like, Chinese tapas, basically.
I was literally just going to say Chinese tapas, yeah. But it comes around on a cart.
Yeah, that's the best part of all of it, is that like you just show up, you sit down at the table, and within 30 seconds you're already getting served. Like that's my favorite part of the whole thing. Is like you don't have to deal with the waitress.
Comes to you.
Buffet comes to you, and it's like a surprise, because like each cart shows up, you're like, yo, what's in that one? And he opens up, it's like chicken's feet. Then it's like, oh shit, I'll pass on that. What's over here? And it's like, fermented black bean little riblets. Like, all right, give me some of that. Before I was vegan. And then it was like, I just love it. Give me like 19 different types of dumplings, fried, steamed, boiled. Give me everything.
As a vegan, you can't really enjoy dim sum that much, because there's almost all the stuff has some
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Okay. What's inside of dim sum qualifies for vegan. In my world.
What's inside the dim sum stays inside the dim sum.
That's exactly right. What's inside the dim sum stays inside the dim sum.
Oh shit. Yeah, man. I'm looking at it now. Actually, so yeah,
don't
Wikipedia.
Hate, Braden. Don't hate.
Wikipedia says it means it actually touching heart is the literal translation. And it's
that's it, touching heart.
The T is
that's
also
gonna be our logo. It's like this.
Yeah. What up? DimSum, dog.
DimSum.
Yo, I love it. That has me really hungry right now. Like
I'm gonna name one of my eights. One of my eights is gonna be DimSum. I need to get one of those like
the sushi ape,
Yeah, except that
although it's Japanese, that's
it's
like
Japanese. It's like some I feel like I'm
that's
surprised
like
nobody's like brought up some culturally appropriation bullshit yet.
Well,
You know, with all the-
they did. I mean, not to turn this into an NFT conversation, but when they released the Bored Ape Kennel Club, the dogs had the Chinese flag that was like, they actually changed it because they felt that was, the flag that they had. I forget which one it was, but it was like considered to be like oppressive and stuff or whatever. So, so they basically switched it for anyone who wanted to switch it, which then you would say, all right, anyone who didn't switch it means their dog becomes more scarce.
Extra rare.
Yeah, exactly. It adds to the rarity. So,
give me some of that not political correct dog.
Give me some of that DimSum dog.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. Okay. So we now have a three-way tie for first place.
Yeah.
So here's how we're going to break this.
About. What's inside the dim sum stays in the dim sum.
So here's how we're going to break this three-way tie.
First rule of dim sum: don't talk about what's in the dim sum.
First rule of dim sum: don't talk about dim sum. Hey, all right. First rule of DomainSherpa. Let's get through the domain game in 30 minutes. Hey, Jason, man, we're going to need you to give us another name since you're the one who doesn't have a point. We need another buy or sell from you, and then whoever gets it, as long as that's cool with you, and then whoever gets it between the three of us picks up the win today. So
yeah, sure. All right. Wow. Okay. So this is really odd because the part of the root is similar. Oxybuilders.com.
Oxybuilders.com. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You like those builder names.
OXYbuilders.com.
OXY builders, plural this time.
Like, I don't know.
All right, well, we'd start with Ammar. Well, why don't we do this? We can start with me and go back, since it's, we'll do the reverse to make it fair. All right, so this one, I'm going to say you sold for $600. I'm going to say 600. I don't like it as much as LegalBuilder. I like LegalBuilder a lot better. You sold LegalBuilder for 1,500. I think this name, half that, maybe $5.99, I'm gonna say $4.99. This was a $4.99 buy it now that you put up, and that's what it sold for. And just for pretty much all the reasons that I mentioned. I don't like it as much as LegalBuilder, but I think that this is a name that you're gonna at least put up for sale at a buy it now price that's attainable. I think $4.99 is where it's at. I don't know what Oxybuilder means or Oxybuilders means. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a drug reference. I don't know if it's something about oxygen and builders and something medical or something around that. I don't
Class action lawsuit of like builders who got hurt on the job because they were high on oxy.
There you go. Like that would be right up there with mesothelioma.
Yeah.
Or they
you guys are sleeping. This is a $5 million domain.
Go ahead. Then you give it's on you. It's on you, DimSum.
All right, I'm going to say, I can't wrap my head around what the hell this domain could be used for other than maybe somebody's just got a building company called Oxy, right? And then, so that's where I land. And then in that case, it is worth a little bit of something to them, maybe 2,500 to $5,000 range. I'm going 3,888.
All right, Drew with 3,888. All right.
I'm going with 1,490.
And is that because you're splitting the difference, or you think that the name?
No, because I kind of feel like a name like that, you put it up at that price, and if somebody hits buy now, that you're happy, and if they want to counter lower, you can always take lower. But I think it kind of in the range. I actually like I like it better than LegalBuilders, only because this kind of, you don't know what it is, so it could be anything. Like you said, it could be oxygen, it could be some kind of supplement, it could be whatever. So I think
that's what it could be. It could be something like a weight lifting supplement type of thing.
Oh, that's a good point.
So it's more of an open vessel name. I think it's more open vessel is not the right word, but it has more potential use cases, I'd say. So that's why I'm going with 1,490.
Jason.
All right. Well, Ammar gets it. It was 1,450.
Oh,
and I hate that it was so close to the other one, but I wasn't prepared for two. I had to grab something in a hurry.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Man,
no worries. Ammar, and it cost $41 total. This was a partnership name. The partner actually was, at the point that this was purchased, was a little more active in buying stuff. And I did, like Drew, I had no idea why the hell he bought this, but I'm just glad that I was able to sell it for us at maybe not quite 100x, but 75x or whatever the math works out to on that.
Yeah, no, good work, man. So, all right, cool. All right, so with that, congratulations.
DimSum.
So, Ammar gets more swag. So I got to put it on the list, and we'll make that happen. So, all right, cool. Then real quick, we're going to jump into NameJet. But before we do that, real quick, we're going to go into some commercials for our sponsors, which include Media Options and most importantly, Dan.com, our friends at Dan, who have, in our opinion, the #1 domain platform for buying and selling domains in the world. So we'll jump to that and we'll catch up with you guys here in a second on DomainSherpa, where all roads lead to domains.
Media Options is the industry's leading domain broker specializing in domain acquisitions, high-value domain sales, and domain name consultation. As pioneers and thought leaders on the subject of the domain aftermarket and domain name value, plus through their clear domain acquisition service, Media Options offers startups and established corporations an unparalleled scope of high-value domain options, providing access to domain names and curation technologies not available elsewhere. Media Options believes in the power of a great domain name and is dedicated to helping you obtain yours. Call or email today to put a domain to work for you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to DomainSherpa, where all roads lead to domains. We just finished up the domain game. Shout out to Ammar for winning that one in an overtime battle. And now we're going to move into NameJet, sponsored by our good friends at NameJet. This is actually a really cool one because instead of taking a list of 15 names like we typically do, Ammar has a really crazy listing on NameJet that's happening right now. So full disclosure, this is the ThoughtConvergence portfolio, which is effectively Ammar's partnership with some other folks that the business is dissolving, and as part of that process, they're liquidating a bunch of the domain names and doing so on NameJet, which is creating an amazing opportunity for a lot of folks because these names are badass. And so we're going to go through this list. Yeah. So again, full disclosure, these are Ammar's names to some degree, but still arm's length because it is the entity that's selling these. And there's just some really, really great names. So we're going to go through this list. I sent around the top 100 to the team before we got on the call. Basically what I did was I took all the ones that had like 20 or more bids. And there was 100 plus or something like that, or close to that. And, so that's and then we can kind of, as a way to start sorting them. How many names are there total?
There are close to 900 names total. The beer portfolio, beer.com plus 26 other names is one lot. So you bid on that, you get them all. And then the rest are all individual lots. And I think last I recall, I think there were only reserves on about 60. So that means over 800 names, I believe, are no reserve.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And the reserves, even on the big names, are, in my opinion, all like it pained me. But it is what it is, right? It was the only way we could agree to sell these names. Like if it were up to me, I'd be buying a big chunk of them myself, but I can't. Right. So they're a big chunk of them are no reserve, and the ones that have reserves are all pretty investor friendly.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, and I mean, hey, in the interest of full disclosure, like I'm going to be bidding on some of these, because again, this is arm's length for us. We'd be better off not even promoting some of these, but but we will because it's that's how it goes, and it's all.
We got love for our bald brothers.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I'm it's cold in my house, man. I'm like,
DimSum, baby.
Drew before was like, man,
DimSum is going to be the new YOLO.
DimSum. Yo, DimSum. Anyway,
hashtag DimSum.
I was saying it's cold here in my house, even though I'm in Florida, like it's chilly. This particular room does not get the heat, and we actually have the heat on in the house for like one of the first times all year. But otherwise I'd be showing off the bald head. Jason's got the most hair out of everybody, face and head. And so congratulations. That might even get you some swag on here. You know what I mean? We're definitely follicle jealous. All right. Well, where do you want to start? So
follicle jealous. That's a new one.
Follicularly challenged.
Follicular.
Yo.
I got
Okay,
nothing to
so
say on that.
My favorite domain on the list is aka.com. I just to dive right into it. It's and so everybody knows, go to the site, go to NameJet. They've got the banners up so you can click right through. I mentioned this at the outset. So we are recording this show on Thursday. Friday is actually tomorrow, which is the day this is airing. So this is now airing on Friday. The first group of these names are starting to go out of pre-release as of 9 p.m.
This weekend.
Yeah, 9 p.m. Pacific, I think, right? So, so as of 9 p.m. tonight, the first set of names are going to go to auction. And are they going to go to public auction though? Or are they going to,
they're all public.
Okay. So they'll go to public auction. So provided their bids, even if you don't get your back orders in, but if you don't put back orders in now, then, you risk not, missing them as they go,
Right.
because, I think the top so many names on a daily basis are shown on that ending soon page on NameJet, but the rest can get lost in the mix if you don't have your back orders in. So that's why we're turning this episode around as quickly as we can. Shout out to Billy for putting in the work to make sure this gets out. And you better not make me look bad, because now that I've said all this shit, if this shit doesn't actually air on Friday, like I'm gonna look like an asshole, but I got faith in my brother. Let's all good. Let's get it. Chill Walton.
He'll just cut it out if it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. Just cut out the part of me hyping out. See? Like the way you think, Kingpin. That's why you're the Kingpin. So AKA is my favorite name on here. I do all my AKAs at the beginning of the show. I think that one does have a reserve, but I love that domain name, 3 character. I mean, there's a million different things that can be used for. And I think that's a great one. But let's talk about some of the others that y'all really like. Either Jason or Drew, pick a couple and let's talk about them.
Go ahead. You go first, Jason.
All right. Yeah. I just looking at the list. I mean, I think that the one that jumps out at me as an incredible brand is intimate.com. I mean, so many things that would apply to I think that's a killer name. And then
that's a killer name for a dating site, especially. I mean, that is
dating.
Also for lingerie.
Lingerie.
Yeah. Lingerie. Yeah. I mean, that's
lingerie is a hard word to spell, but
intimate's a lot easier to spell than lingerie. I love that. I mean, and there, some other killers on here. I mean, aftermarket trainer. I mean, my gosh. I mean, this is just an incredible list of names.
Trainer.com is crazy. Nonstop.com is crazy. That might be nonstop.com for me. Especially when you're looking at the big rush on crypto and NFT names and everything lately. Nonstop.com.
That'd be a nice name for an exchange.
One name on here that intrigues me, because at first blush it's kind of negative, but I think could really be a good brand. Lousy.com. I mean, like it's so negative it's almost positive.
There's another one like that on the list, which I happen to love. Neurotic. So that also has a negative vibe, but I think it also has it's kind of like along the lines of nonstop, right? It's just like always going. I could see it being a really big brand too, similar to what you're saying, Jason, with Lousy.
Neurotic, I think I like that name a ton. Yeah, quantum computing or something that involves there's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
molecular biology, neurology, neurotic could be a dope biotech name.
Yeah. And slang wise, if you say somebody is lousy with something, it means they have a lot of it. It's like a slang term, that means an abundance of. So I mean, I think for a trendy type of business that's that could really turn that into something. And I think that's probably one that's going to fly on the kind of under the radar, because people will look at it. We'll look at it and I guess it does. Okay, well,
it'll fly comparatively. Maybe.
So much for that idea. But I think it's one that would be easily overlooked. I mean, obviously, there's some bids on it, but
another one is looting. I think could be interesting, especially with all the meta stuff with the loot, right? That could be a great brand for that.
Although, I mean, you got loot, but I don't know what's happening with loot right now. I sold my loot bags. I'm out on loot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got loot. I'll never get rid of loot.
But I mean, there was the NFT loot, but then there remains the in-game loot, and
Oh,
loot
yeah,
box,
yeah, without a
loot
doubt. And
boxes, and I mean, loot is
Give me the loot. Give me the
is
loot.
is just a huge word, and looting, turning the verb form of it, I think has got massive
Yeah, no, for
potential.
sure. And I think you make a great point because play to earn and gaming and all that is still so huge, and in some cases, kind of the sort of a next frontier of a lot of what we're going to see in NFTs and all that and blockchain. And so, yeah, I think looting is definitely, one. Another one that's got a negative, but I think is an amazing domain is threat.com. I mean, I think you're talking about online security and knowing how that is a huge, huge thing. It's like, I mean, I'm talking trillions of dollars. Threat.com is like just that.
And
is,
there are a lot of cybersecurity companies with threat as the root of their name.
I mean, these names are wild, dude. So, all right, what else? What do you think, Drew?
All right. So
like,
I mean, I think, all right, there's a lot of names I really like in here. So classnotes.com, for example, I know I tried to I had a buyer for that name years ago, but this dude was too expensive. So, I know that name's got some love. I mean, being
gets a lot of
transparent,
inquiries.
My favorite name on the list is aftermarket.com. I mean, I will definitely be bidding for that name. I love aftermarket.com. It's just a banger. So, get out the way. AKA.com is just that's a killer domain too, especially with the whole pseudonymous, economy that's coming. AKA is just like another banger.
That is so good.
I also love helpline.com. I think there's maybe a limit on the value of the name because of the just sort of the corner that it's going to be in. I mean, it could be customer service, but it's got it lends itself to mental health. And I think helpline.com is an amazing name for a space that is about to explode.
Telehealth.
And I think it's I love it. I think helpline.com is one of my favorites on here. We already talked about Intimate. I like that one a lot. I love nonstop.com. And then look, Ammar and I share a love of, some of these nets and orgs that maybe some others don't. And, you got invest.net, that's an amazing name. You've got partner.net, which I think is an amazing name because it's like partner network, right? That is a great mashup. Illustrate.com. I mean, there's a lot of bangers in here. You know what I mean? So it's hard to pin down. I think those are kind of like my favorites, favorites, but there's a lot of great names in here. I mean, there's a lot of names in here that have good traffic, caddy.com, trainer.com is it's hard to express how big that name can be, right? Some of these celebrity trainers are, they got whole online presences with massive subscriptions. That's a big name with huge traffic.
Yeah. Well, Trainer, I mean, you look at Masterclass and some of these things, and Trainer is as good as any of those for those.
Yeah.
Any online, I mean, in Helpline, like we said, telehealth. I mean, that is just crazy.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I kind of love blackmail.com. I'm just one of those vengeful motherfuckers. I just want to I always wanted to own revenge.com, come up with creative ways, spend my time coming up with creative ways to get vengeful on people.
Right. You know what? Blackmail
and the cover of it, I'd go spend some money. I'll get Samuel L. Jackson to be my spokesperson.
Right.
And he's just going to be on there and I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers.
And you will know,
my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. I already know what I would do with that. So
I got
blackmail.com.
Pulp Fiction on the wall, right? That one. That's actually the two suits, and go ahead. That's the That's the Pulp Fiction shit right there.
So
I think blackmail is going to end up being used for some kind of messaging, private messaging, or something very secure. It's a perfect name for an email, like a competitor to, Superhuman or whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
I could totally see it being that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and
or sell to Jay-Z, make it like, this is the black folks Hotmail. You know what I mean? Like black owned everything. Like no joke. Like black owned everything, like that's his jam.
I think you talk about .nets, you've got idea.net, which is crazy. I mean, there was another, what was I just looking at?
Funding.net is on there, which is
for caddy.com. You mentioned caddy.com.
Funding network, right? So that's another like.
Yeah. Caddy
funding
to me, real quick.
.net is a great mashup because it's funding network, right?
I mean, those are the .nets that could really, really work. And caddy.com to me is as good as almost golf.com, because I mean, that is like, and you think about all like, but there's other caddy things like, there's other goods and things around that. But I mean, for caddy.com is like a golf focused domain name. I don't know that you can get much better than that.
So the thing with caddy, which I didn't actually realize until after I bought it, but the spelling for the golf use is actually IE, not Y, but because of Caddyshack, everybody assumes that's how you spell the golf caddy. But that being said, I love that name because I do think it's still absolutely will probably be used for golf, right? Like it's going to be used for that because or at least I would think it would be, right? But it could be anything that holds something else. So it's a container, basically. That's what a caddy is.
Yeah.
And a caddy in golf is carrying around your golf bag, right? Is carrying around your bag of clubs, your container of clubs.
Mm-hmm.
So that name is a big name. What do you guys think about Faithful? I love that name for like a religious network.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's what I think it is.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Great name. Great name. I love idea.net, like.
That was my license plate for a while.
Oh, yeah? That's a killer name. Idea.net is a killer name. Glasses.org, 500,000 exact match searches a month. Like, love that name.
Download.org, dude. Did you see that?
Yeah. I don't love that as much. Like 10 years ago, I'd be like, amazing name. Today, there's so much consolidation in that space, but
yeah,
still a good name for sure.
I mean, you got the
Payment
pair of
calculator, great name.
I mean, you talk about orgs, you got wealthmanagement.org. That's
that's a banger. I'll
that's
be
flying a bit
one.
under the radar. I think that's a really good one when you got,
threat.com. I mean, that's a 7-figure name.
I love that one. That one is one of my top. So, I mean, it's hard to pick the top, but AKA Threat, Nonstop, if I could, aftermarket is tough to because it doesn't, we're not just talking about domain aftermarkets anymore. You know what I mean? It's
right.
Like literally you're talking about, that could be a new OpenSea. OpenSea is a terrible platform. That's
operate.com, like, love that name.
I mean, and then you've got like deducts.com and deductions.com. I mean, what kind of massive industry is the tax preparation?
We have a client right now trying to buy a domain that's a brand, not, nothing, it's not generic, but literally their entire business. These guys are MIT PhDs backed by, like, let's say the biggest VC there is. And, their whole business is basically automating like deductions for businesses because they don't even know what's out there, right? And this just automates it all. So I was already looking at that because I'm gonna let them know about that one. Oversee.com, great name. Us in the domain industry, we got some, some legacy feelings about that one, but like,
I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't love that one,
but that's only because still, we associate it with
the old registrar,
an existing
exactly
company, but for that's an amazing management type name.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, or George Orwell.
So business development, did we mention that one? Business
We
development.
got biz
Yeah,
dev.
and
We
then
have the pair.
BizDev. I know.
BizDev.
So I love the combo of businessdevelopment.com and bizdev.com is a banger.
I bought them
because-
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the future, is like all these like specialty roles, you're going to see more and more where people aren't like, oh, I do biz dev for this company. No, it's like, I'm a biz dev, ninja. And like, I do biz dev over here, over here, over here, over here. Right. Like that's kind of the future of work, is that people are going to be wearing these, multi hats, and, there's only one person that's going to be bizdev.com.
Well, yeah.
Like,
And I think that,
I kind of love that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got people that are their own boss now more than ever, and operating in like consultancy roles and things like that. But it's no longer where like consultant is like a dirty word. It's like people need legit experts to handle very specific things with their business, and it's something like that. I think without doubt, like if you're the biz dev guy and you've got businessdevelopment.com and that's your like business and what you do. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you're already like basically established yourself as the top person just based on the domain name alone. Like, I mean, that's just the kind of thing, but that's the power of great domains. Counter.net.
Inventory manager, that's not a huge name, but that's a layup, right? You get inventorymanager.com for like a couple grand. That's a layup for like 15, 25 grand to any one of the hundreds of companies that produce inventory management software.
Yep. And then, I mean, like illustrate.com, I think, Drew, you touched on that one earlier. That's a big one for, online
right now
graphic design and
art.
Oh, animation. I mean, it's like,
I've got a little bit of, domain envy on that one, because I've got illustrated.com, but it's like, it's like the ugly.
We'll trade you.
Redheaded stepchild. Yeah.
Trade you straight up for it.
Right.
Yeah. So, and this is all I do.
I bet mine gets more traffic though.
Top 100. So, but this is just the top 100 of this list. This list is incredible. Just kind of recircuit, it's kind of sort of reset the room a little bit on this.
Oh, I also like BioSpa a lot.
I saw that one. I think that one is dope. I mean, if for folks that, doing the spa stuff, like, what do you call, cryo and, cryotherapy and all the, I mean, there's so much of that.
Yeah, that's my joint. Freeze me.
I mean,
for your joints. Go ahead,
even something like structuredsettlement.com. I mean, there's huge potential there. I mean,
you got structured settlement, you got instantcredit.com. I mean,
I just walked my sister and her kid. They had a terrible 10-year lawsuit over a thing, and that the end result was a big structured settlement. And it's like, man, what these crooks take is crazy on those deals. Like that domain is worth a lot of money. Like,
right. Yeah.
Big.
You're gonna remember that, or you're gonna remember JG Wentworth.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
JG Wentworth.
When we bought that name back in the day, that was when structured settlement was the highest paying keyword on the internet.
Wow.
It was over $100 a click.
No way.
A click.
Wow. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it still has to be pretty high though.
Yeah, it is. But back then it was the highest paying keyword on the
Like,
internet.
why would that one go down?
Keywords in general.
I just experienced it firsthand, and I was like kind of shocked by like how just dirty and expensive that whole industry is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
These people are gangsters. And it's
Right.
like
that would be a great name for a build out for like Drew or Peter or one of those guys that that like to build these, site the lead gen. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah.
Talking about Drew
Yeah, I
Walsh.
probably actually have-
the guys who
yeah.
are business, like, do domains, business in a box style. Like, I mean, this list has got to be, this has got to get them like excited. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, there are so many in here that could really be, turned around so quickly for folks that have a little bit of experience in developing a site and all that good stuff. So, yeah. So again, I was just, so before I was saying, I was trying to reset the room. So like, so go to the NameJet site. So based on these domains, Go to the NameJet site, get online, like check out the banners are right there, which will drive. We also have the beer.com. So talk to us a little bit about that. The beer.com grouping of domains, right? So it's beer, it's cerveza, right? It's things like that.
Yeah,
Like
it's beer in pretty much every major language. We got it in English, French, Spanish, German.
what's the
We
French
have
word
it
for
in
beer?
Portuguese, Drew.
What's the French word for beer?
Cerveja.
In the French word is B-I-E-R or B-I-E-R-E. It's one of those.
B-I-E-R-E.
Yeah.
We have both of those. We have
Oh, no,
both.
B-I-E-R-E is
German.
Italian, I think.
No,
So,
Bira, B-I-E-R-A is Italian, I think. But
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
we have them all.
so are the names selling together or are they selling separately
Correct.
just under
They're all, so you can just go to beer.com. I put up a little page there, and then from there you can click through to the listing. But they're all in one lot. There's 27 names total. We have beer ratings, beer aficionado. We got cervezas, cerveja, cerveza, like every language. We have like misspellings. You basically own the whole world.
Yeah.
Beer.
Okay. Own all the beer.
Yeah.
I like
All
it,
the
man.
beer is ours.
So, all right. So then that's basically the breakdown. So you've got the beer names all under beer.com. And then separately, you got another 900 names that are all part of this premium auction where, 10% or so have reserves. All the rest are basically no reserve, ready to go. And the stuff that is.
You saw that Anheuser just changed their Twitter handle to beer.e.
Yeah.
I did see that. And they were aware of the auction.
Okay.
We'll see if they come to play. But
yeah,
they're definitely aware of the auction.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, that's a beer.com and all that. I mean, that's it's like,
hey, it's a banger. I mean,
what do you say?
So give our audience some alpha here. So you got a $1 to $5 million reserve on beer.com and the whole package of 26, beer, all the beer is ours package.
Yeah.
What end of the range are we at on the reserve there?
It's not at the top. I can tell you that.
Okay.
It's not at the top end of the range.
Is it at the bottom?
You'll know soon enough. I can't go into too much detail on that, but look, here's the thing. I think that if I were going to end up owning these names, I would be asking at least 8 figures. I've been quoting 25 plus.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where I think where it should go. Right.
Yeah, I agree.
That's where I think it should go. It's unlikely to get there in the auction because you never get that in an auction. But I think somebody can
to
do
get
very,
there,
very
you need two buyers that are willing to pay
right.
that. And you and I both know, like, to get the one buyer that's willing to pay that, I agree that's what it's worth. But to get the one buyer that's willing to pay that takes months of conversation and education and negotiation.
And that's where I think somebody can do well if they have that longer term horizon, right?
Yeah.
And the same with a lot of these.
Somebody's looking to tie up some cash as a store of value. It's like, there are domains in here that might have a higher multiple on them, but beer.com is like, your money's not going anywhere. It's beer.com.
Exactly.
Like, wake me up when people aren't drinking beer anymore.
Right.
No doubt. So, all right, cool. So do they all go out of pre-release here in the next couple of days? And
they all go, they're staggered on to close on the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Okay.
Beer closes on the 8th, and the other ones are across those 3 days. So there's about, 300, 250 names a day, something like that.
Okay, cool. So, yeah. And I mean, look, just knowing, cause I've been obviously on the other side of this, but when we have these big auctions and, there's definitely things that'll fall through the cracks in these lists. I think that, they'll definitely
kind of hoping we can break NameJet. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, NameJet's been broken for a while, ever since I left. No, I'm just playing. I'm playing, man. It's fine. Everything's great over there.
Billy?
What's that? Yeah, Billy. Exactly.
Snip, Billy.
Yeah, snip. No, hey, look, I got mad love for the team.
Mike's been really great to work with.
Mike is the fucking bomb, dude, man. He's a good dude. He's been in the space forever, smart guy, and and he genuinely cares. I just hope he's getting enough support, from the organization. That would be my only thing. And you too, but I see that, but I'll say they've been marketing
they should take
it.
over the network. That it's supposed to be network solution NetSol cares. NetSol don't care, but NameJet does.
Yes, exactly. NameJet cares. No, I think Steve and I've seen some of the marketing they've been doing. They were definitely been on it. I mean, they've literally emailed me personally to say, hey, check these auctions out. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. So so I think at the end of the day, man, all good. Excited to see how it goes, excited to see what names we end up with, and get the see the insight on a few of these reserves as they start to hit and all that good stuff. So all right. So with that, everybody, we'll run through the room really quick. So that was segment 3, NameJet gonna jet. Get to NameJet, click the banners, check out the ThoughtConvergence portfolio. There is going to be some super amazing activity, some deals to be had, and some big names that are going to be sold. So that's exciting for everybody involved, and all good stuff. So now last section is the grand closing. And I think we've covered a lot of ground, but let's do a quick loop around the room, starting with Jason. What else you got, man? Anything else? I know you're doing the DN Academy thing. You're doing domains. I know I think a Lazy Lion maybe on the NFT thing. Some Paradise Trippies.
I'm lionless now. I got I sold my crown to move some capital over to Zed Run, which I'm really into, and then I got floor swept on the one I meant to keep. So I am currently lionless. I'm sporting a Eternal Royal as my profile picture now. A project I love, which has gone nowhere. Really big into the Zed Run these days. A lot of folks know I was took a road trip about 9 weeks over the summer. Kind of got me behind on domains. I'm just trying to get caught up, and still playing in the NFT space. And then we got the accelerator, DN Academy Accelerator, coming up in first quarter. Probably be putting out the signups later this month, if I'm not mistaken. And so looking forward to that.
Excellent. Yeah. So everybody, and hey, I mean, look, and nobody's a bigger Sager and DN Academy fan than me. I think at the end of the day, you guys are literally the best in the business. I mean, there's not even anybody close. So so folks that are listening that haven't done DN Academy yet, I mean, this would be the time. The accelerator is a great program, and again,
there's no better way to level up.
No, I mean it's like literally the only way. Aside from just trying to go it yourself, and taking your lumps and learning on the go. But if you're trying to actually do it seriously and you're investing any kind of money into it, you got to go through the program. So so big shout out to Sager.
It's definitely cheaper than the School of the Hard Knocks.
Yeah. Well, we know that. I mean, you've talked about how what did that cost you? It cost you more than going to Harvard.
My MBA cost me $300,000 in the School of the Hard Knocks.
So, and shout out to Sager, just finished the New York City Marathon too, right? And so that's all exciting. We'll have to get, hopefully it's his schedule. If it lightens up, we'll get him back on the show. It's been a minute. So, but definitely a big shout out to him and DN Academy. All right, Ammar, beyond the ThoughtConvergence domain portfolio, what else you got going on?
I'm taking all my beer.com money and buying DimSum.com from Drew.
There you go, man. DimSum. It's gonna be hard to get it from him, man. You heard his love of DimSum, man. He just put it out there in the universe now, man. So
good luck.
All right.
No, the only thing I've been working on is just getting ready for this auction, and I'm pretty excited. I'm like, it's going to be bittersweet because, ThoughtConvergence was what got me into the domain business, and but it's time, right, to let those names get to in some other hands, right? Because if it were in my hands, they'd probably never sell.
Sure.
And
diamond hands, baby. Wait.
Right?
So talk to me real fast. So how many names do you have outside of the ThoughtConvergence stuff? Because you have your own portfolio, right?
Yeah. So I have over 5,000 of my own names, and I'm an investor in another 5,000 plus other names. So I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. It's going to be bittersweet, but it's not knocking you out.
Well, bittersweet in the sense that, again, a lot of those names are names that I bought personally.
Oh yeah. Right? Well, I mean, you could even hear you talking about it as we're talking through the list, and you're like, oh, we bought this one when this happened. And I remember buying that. Look, for domainers, man, they're all like our kids, you know what I'm saying? Especially the good and the big names, you know what I mean? And you've been nurturing them, holding on to them, paying the renewals. It's like, they're like literally like, so all right, well, cool. And when are we gonna have a blog article? When's the next thing coming up on Afterthought?
This is one of the last things that's kind of distracting me. So once that clears up, I think I'm hoping 2022 is going to be like just fresh and clear, and I can start doing fun stuff like you guys and hanging out with Tim and flying around eating dim sum with Drew.
Well, hey, like real quick. So for the folks who don't know, we will be in Vegas. Drew, he was the catalyst to getting all of us on this panel at the Real Vision conference, which is going to be in Las Vegas. Our panel is next week. It's Thursday, December 9th, I believe. And but we will have Timberland. We're going to have Gary, Clem, as well as a few other special guests. We got some cool things to announce.
We got some really cool stuff coming. Some surprise announcements coming.
Yeah. So we've got some really good stuff. So we're going to be out there. I'll be flying from Miami with Tim and team. So, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully they won't get too mad if I'm taking all these selfies on the jet, but I don't care. YOLO, DimSum.
DimSum.
They'll be like, what? DimSum? That's not even on the menu. Like DimSum. Snap. But no, hey, everything's amazing with obviously all the 8-bit production stuff we got going on is great. I know you guys, we talked about that offline. I know you guys have been supportive of that. We appreciate all that. And but so I kind of stole Drew's thunder.
If you do want to come check us out in Las Vegas, go to realvision.com/MGM/the-takeover. And you can check it. I'm sure there's probably a banner on the.
There's got to be a quicker way to get there than that.
Yeah, if you just go to realvision.com, there's probably a banner. But
you don't have something you can redirect to that.
Exactly.
Yeah, the event's called The Takeover. It's a Real Vision event. People have been watching Domain Sherpa for a long time. Have heard me talk about Real Vision a million times. I think it's the best, financial education media platform there is in the world, hands down. A lot of my best ideas that have generated me lots of profit come from Real Vision. At least the seeds are planted there. And so I would encourage anybody that's, interested in, crypto, finance,
and
alternative
it's a really
finance,
broad spectrum.
NFTs. Yeah. And we are going to have the GOATs there. Bill Ty, that's my number one favorite. I believe he is the greatest investor of all time. I don't think there's a single trend that has happened in the last 30 years that he didn't hit the nail on the head. First money into Coinbase, first money into every household name you could think of. So you're going to have Dan Moorhead from Pantera Capital is going to be there. You're going to have, you're going to have the GOATs are going to be there. So it's going to be, I'm pretty excited.
DimSum, baby, DimSum. But yeah, so that is where it's at. It's going to be an amazing time. We're going to get some of our own team together. This is what's also crazy. We're in this post-COVID world, right? And we realize the last time a lot of us have seen each other, including some of the folks on our team, Alan, Morgan, and some of the other that are going to come out for it. It was the last time I saw you in person, Ammar, which was in Portugal. You know what I mean? So it's
wow.
That was 2+ years ago, right?
Yeah.
That was when the Skip Bros movement was born.
That's the Skip Bros movement. Yeah.
That's where
Hey, Drew, speaking of Portugal, I'm looking into that golden visa thing. So I might want to talk to you about that.
Ooh,
talk to me, man.
Man.
I'm well versed. I've been helping a bunch of people that want to get the fuck out of that crazy state of California and move somewhere rational.
Well, he's in
Vegas,
Vegas,
I'm not going to move there, but I like the idea of having the ability to stay there as long as we want. That's, to me, the bigger thing.
I named my company Media Options for a reason. I like optionality.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, nothing worse than being out of options, man. That's for sure.
No.
And, yeah.
You can be out of time, you can be out of money, but don't get out of options.
Nah, man. Keep it on and popping. You know what I mean? Media Options, keeping it popping. Buy low, sell high, reaping the profits. You know what I mean? But well, hey, look. So I think we went around the horn. I think we covered a ton of ground. So appreciate all you guys, Jason, man. First of many times. You know what I mean? Now that we got your AKAs, we got to keep them going. Ammar, as always, man, good luck with the auction.
Thank you.
Excited to see how that shakes out. And then obviously we covered a lot of ground that we've got going on, but we'll probably do an episode next week, maybe even before we bounce from Vegas, covering a little bit more of the Ape in Productions project and where that stands. And there's some really, really wild stuff happening with that. I'm like, it's like this, there's so much crazy shit and exciting things, but it's like, we can't really publicly disclose a lot of that. But the stuff that, you know, I know we shared some of that with y'all, but, you know, a lot coming there that's going to be really, really amazing. And, so yeah, and otherwise we'll see y'all. If anybody who's listening makes it out to Vegas, definitely say what's good. Come see us at the show, and you know, let's catch up. And as I say on every single show, thank you to the audience, because without you, there's no us. Come find us. You got questions, comments, good, bad, ugly, whatever. We're not hard to find. Shout at us, and you know, we're around, and always happy to engage. So with that, we will see everybody next time here on Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. In the meantime, y'all stay safe, be easy, stay focused, make that money, DimSum, baby, all day. All right, we'll see y'all next time.
All right, bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.